What's up, rugby fans? Welcome to another episode of PMM. I am your host, Josh Cooper, and what a Week 5. We started with Friday Night Lights in Tuscaloosa, followed by beautiful conditions for rugby in Athens and Oxford Saturday, and finished with an easy Sunday in Nashville. And we saw some points. And not just points, but blowouts, skunks, fatalities. All right, you get the point. Let's see what Week 5 gave us with this week's recap segment.
The Mad Dogs on the road this week, heading up to Tuscaloosa to take on top division opponent the Crimson Tide, and Bama didn't pull any punches in this one. Alabama took the lead early with a tough run inside the 5-meter line and followed up with a great run by man of the match Ross Depperschmidt. The Tide capitalized on a few more penalties and went up into the half 24-0. Mississippi State was able to score with 28 minutes left, but that's all they could do. Bama comes away with the win in dominant fashion. 58-7 is your final. The big boys in orange took on Georgia in Athens on Saturday. Vols coming out strong from the jump with senior Jack Donlin scoring a try at 6 minutes, Dylan Craven scoring another try at 15 minutes, and Travis Vickers with another try at 22 minutes. You see where this is going. Georgia did answer back just before halftime with a hard-fought try to put the score at 24-5. Coming out in the second, Georgia was able to snipe in a long-range penalty kick, but it was all Vols after that, Tennessee winning on the road 38-8. Auburn and Ole Miss was our game of the week, and it was a beautiful day in Oxford. Auburn traveled well with a full squad and came ready to fight. The Tigers were able to move the ball well in the first half with a few great runs, which put them up 17-13 at halftime, but it was all downhill from there. Ole Miss came out and scored early in the second half with back-to-back tries, and then a third not long after. Ole Miss is able to show us they're able to compete with the big boys in the conference and face Alabama next week on the road. Rebels take down Auburn 44-17. The Wildcats took on Vandy on Sunday afternoon in Nashville, and they continued their winning ways. According to Coach Gary Anderson, the boys in blue were led by standout flanker Kyle Peterson, who led the team with a superb defensive effort and was very successful in the lineouts. Vanderbilt continues to play the hardest schedule in the conference this season and was still able to put up 10 points against what is arguably the hottest team in the conference. We don't take anything away from the Commodores as both teams played a hard-fought match. The final score, 64-10. Kentucky looks forward to what can be billed as the match of the year next week against South Carolina, while Vandy has the next few weeks off from conference play.
So what can we say about Week 5? Well, the point differential was somewhere in the ballpark of 3-1, with winning teams scoring over 150 points combined. It seems like at this point in the season, the Western Division is pretty concrete as to who the top teams are, whereas the East is still a toss-up. Tennessee, South Carolina, and Kentucky all hold their team's destiny in their hands. Sadly, Week 6 only gives us 3 matches, and as a rugby fan, we get spoiled by weeks with 4 or even 5 matches in a weekend. But despite that, we have a blockbuster match in Lexington this weekend. South Carolina and Kentucky both vying for a top spot in the East. Can you say match of the year? Here's what's on the docket for Week 6.
On Thursday night, we have Ole Miss heading up to Tuscaloosa to play the number 1 Western Division team, the Alabama Crimson Tide. Ole Miss coming off a huge win at home where they displayed some fine offensive skills. They are looking to upset the favorite in Alabama here, and a win here would put them in the mix for the Western title. The Tigers hosting Florida on Saturday, and it looks to be a beautiful day on the plains. Florida is looking to forget about the loss to Tennessee and get their season back on course. Auburn, on the other hand, still looking for that first win as they are last place in the West. Despite their record though, Auburn came out scoring first against Ole Miss and even led at the half. They could just not sustain that type of performance in the second half. Regardless though, if Auburn consistently executes the good parts of their game that we saw last week, they might be able to take down the mighty Gators. Our last game in Week 6 is going to be colossal. 2 of the elite teams in the SCRC going at it in South Carolina and Kentucky, and this very well could be the best match of the season so far. The Wildcats just took down number 1 big boys in the West, Alabama, and show no signs of stopping there. In fact, if you are a Kentucky fan, this season has been picture perfect so far. South Carolina, on the other hand, had last weekend off after getting destroyed by D2 team in Furman. That being said, the Gamecocks have been in this situation before, and they have a veteran squad. Either way, this match is one you do not want to miss.
And that brings us to our favorite part of the show, the Player of the Week. Every week we've been getting great feedback from fans and players, and we've taken some of your suggestions to heart. The Player of the Week is a way for us to spotlight some of the South's rising stars and bring some well-deserved recognition to our favorite conference. Make sure you check in and submit your vote, and we will announce the winner of the Player of the Week every week on the Purple Moose Minute, so make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel and you can be notified when the next episode airs. So without further ado, here is your SCRC Player of the Week.
Perry with Purple Moose Media, and I have this week's SCRC Player of the Week, Kyle Peterson. What would you credit last week's performance, your performance, as it were? What would you credit to that performance?
Well, ever since SEC play started, we've had really good practices week in and week out. Our coaching staff does a great job preparing us for each opponent that we play. And this week especially, we wanted to key on not relying on home run ball, and instead we wanted to rely on our defensive intensity. And we also, our main goal was to put together big phase drives and have those really be the bread and butter of our offense. And we really came together in the second half especially and put together some beautiful 10, 15 phase scoring drives. This year, the team culture has shifted dramatically. Camaraderie's at an all-time high. We've got a really young team that loves to have fun, and we've got the drive, the talent this year, we've got the work ethic, and it's all come together for a pretty special season.
What's the game that you look forward to the most each season?
Well, me personally, and as a squad, we're all looking forward to playing Tennessee this year. We play very similar styles of rugby. Tennessee's obviously been very good for a very long time. We've got a lot of respect for them, but we think that's going to be a really tough game to end our season on, and we know that we have to prepare for it. We need to work hard leading up to it, and we've got a hell of a match coming up.
If the season ended today, would you say that Kentucky has accomplished any of the goals that you guys set out to at the beginning of the season?
At the beginning of our season, we laid out the goal that we wanted to make it to the playoffs. So if the season ended today, we've accomplished everything up to this point that we can in order to make that happen. But our eventual goal is we're especially heading into this really tough stretch of our schedule where we're playing USC, Tennessee, a couple of the top monster teams in our conference. We really want to show out against them and show that we have the talent this year and we have the drive and that we have the preparedness to play against them. I think, like my buddy CJ said last week, he and I were both from the same freshman class together, so we've been here from the start, and we're the last two left from that class. Neither of us have beaten USC or Tennessee during our time here. We have a lot of respect for those programs, but we feel this is a coming out year for UK rugby, and that we can beat anyone with our talent, drive, and work ethic.
Congratulations to the Player of the Week, and thank you guys for watching. That is it for us here at PMM. If you liked the video, make sure you like and subscribe, and give us a follow over on Facebook and Twitter. You can catch our Game of the Week streams on Saturdays, and don't forget to read up on the power rankings over at purplemoosemedia.com/SCRC. The link to all of this is below in the description, so until next week, lace up your boots and go play some rugby.